should women balance the role of being CEOs and also be the feminine women they are supposed to be in their roles as wives?
Okay, balance the roles. I'm going to always use myself as an example. And I'll share a couple of mistakes that I made and a couple of learnings that I got as I was going on. When I first married my husband, I married a widower with 2 kids. And so I thought stepping out of work was what I needed to do to be able to look after the children. I think that was a big mistake that I made because my life stopped for them, but their lives continued. And I resented them for that. And so what I then decided to do after I had my child, maybe 3 months when I came back to Nigeria, I decided to look for a job. And I told the lady, I said, it's buy one, get one free. As you buy me, you buy my child as well. And I will bring her to the office. And she said to me, bring her. Now, I guess also because she saw the value that I had to bring to the table, she thought it was worth it bringing my child along. And there was no creche. And so I'll strap on my child in front of me and take her to work. And I work in the television industry, which even makes it more cumbersome. So I'm on set, I'm strapping my child on, and she's enjoying herself because I'm her natural Vitafoam, you know. She will sleep, wake up, I'll put her down sometimes. People will help me carry her. I had a good support system until I got somebody who was able to help me look after her. And then I decided, after a while I left that job and I went to another job. And what I've realized, and then not just that, I then started my own organization. So this is me working full-time for somebody, 9 to 5, as they call it. But in television, every day is a day to work. We don't have holidays. This is me trying to build my own business as well and want to succeed at it. This is me who is a mother and a stepmother and a wife. So I started to tell myself, you will never be great at everything at the same time. So when I'm at work, I'm a boss. When I'm at home with my children, I'm a mother. When I'm with my husband, I'm a wife. When I'm with my mother, I'm a daughter. So I started to wear those hats at different times for those different reasons. I'm not here right now thinking about my children at home because I worry about nothing. And that's another thing women also need to understand. I'm not guilty about anything that I do. If I find out that maybe I can do something better, I do it. But I don't sit down and beat myself to say, oh, like my daughter will come with mommy, everybody's mother was there. Yeah, that's right. But not everybody's mother is doing the work that I'm doing. Not everybody's mother is able to provide for you the way I'm able to provide for you. Is that true? She'll say, yes. You're right, mommy. One day she said to me, mommy, you're not a good mother. I said, okay, thank you. She said, don't you want to be a good mother? I said, it depends on who is judging me. So I looked at her, I said, okay, this is a time for conversation. Why do you think I'm not a good mother? She said, because you don't like to give your children things. I laughed. I said, very valid point. However, is that true? And she looked at me and she says, okay, sometimes you don't like to give your children things. I said, does that then mean that sometimes I'm a good mother? She said, yes. I said, that's enough for me. Because I will never be a good mother to her all the time. What does good mother mean? Let's So because I'm very self-sure of what I do and how my conscience is always clear, that I'm doing the best that I can do whenever and however, I'm not in control of how other people receive or perceive or accept me, but I'm in control of how I feel about myself and how I choose to show up in every relationship. So for me, that's what it is. I'm not here or on holiday thinking, are my children fine? I'm one woman that you would always meet, and I'm always like this calm because my children are okay. If anything happens to them, we will deal with them at that point. But I'm not going to sit down and start to create a story of a problem that has not happened and then now start to suffer for it today. Impossible.
Thank you, Adeola. You will take that and also help us with examples of support systems that can be put in place.
Once again, I'm going to use my own personal example around this. What I do at the moment, or when I decided I wanted to be a therapist. Now, I'm not just a normal therapist, I'm also a hypnotherapist, which is demonic in Nigeria, right? Nobody supported me. And that's the truth. My husband, he nagged about it for so long. And PF knows. But it didn't stop me because I wasn't doing it for him. Now, a lot of times our essence is tied to what our spouses think of us. And the truth is that it cannot be. Now, the reason why we're so vulnerable, and I'm not downplaying words, but I'm saying that what are the words? What's your own identity? Because if you don't have one, you're going to answer to anything anybody calls you. When my daughter comes home and says, Mommy, somebody says I'm stupid, I ask her, are you stupid? She says no. Then why are you upset? Now, let's even say you were stupid and somebody called you your name. Would you also be upset? No. So you have answered your name irrespective. Right? So what do you call yourself? So I promise you, if you look at me today and say, Adeola, you're a hopeless wife, thank you is the answer. You are a wonderful wife, thank you, because none of how I feel is bordered around how you feel about me, regardless of who you are. Now, you could say, oh, that's pride. There's nothing wrong with being proud. There's nothing wrong with knowing yourself. And you said you think, I know you teach people how to treat you. But you first treat yourself that way. So you're not teaching them how to treat you and then you're not treating yourself that way. You first treat yourself like a queen, right? And then other people have no... Mats get level now. There's some mats that you remove your shoe to step on. There's mat that you trample on. How do you then look? They will tell you from outside, please remove your shoe outside. They'll teach you how to treat that mat. There's some you can wear whatever, roll inside mud, come and roll. How do you then place yourself in a way whereby other people look at you and say, haha, you know, this one doesn't look like she's all right. Let's not go anywhere close to her. It's therapy that is holding me down. I tell people I'm not all right. Do you understand what I mean? So I carry myself that way, regardless of where it is, at work, at home. People know that you cannot go and meet Adeola and say XYZ to her. You will find trouble. And I'm speaking pidgin because I'm sure a lot of us can understand it. So what do you do to yourself? I used to wait. I would dress up and wait for my husband to look at me and say, you look beautiful. One day, when things started shifting for me, I was in the bathroom making up. My husband was standing there. Two of us were together, gisting, talking. And then I stopped. I was like, see, fine girl. Kai, God created. So he was looking at me. He was like, what are you doing? I said, I'm healing myself. I'm healing myself because if I don't heal me, who will heal me? And the fact that I'm waiting for someone else to heal me is where the problem is. Because that's what the void is. I dare say all those love languages, gifts, there are things that you have a hole in yourself of that this thing is filling. You can fill it yourself. You don't need anybody to tell you how beautiful you look. Stand in front of your mirror every day, naked, in clothing, whatever. Everywhere you see a mirror, just stop and say, just laugh at yourself, how fine you are, right? And then the more you do it, because your subconscious mind only learns by repetition, the more you do it, the more it sticks. The more other people will now, if that thing that you are fighting for, people will now do it willingly. And guess what? Why are you only waiting for one person to support you when the universe can support you? That's my question. What was the other question?
I asked for examples of...
Ma? Sir? Okay.
I asked for examples of supporting systems.
Well, for me, my own support systems, I have everybody around me. I have a driver, I have gatemen, I have people who come to clean, I have people who come to cook, I have support in my office. I'm a firm believer that you don't have to do everything. And not everything has to work the way you want it to work, because that's another problem. We make a fuss. You didn't clean that place well. That's because they didn't clean it to your taste. It doesn't mean that it hasn't been cleaned. So I can walk into my house and close my eyes completely to everything. The things that bother me or affect me, I may say do X, Y, Z. There are people there to do things. Use them. You know, I'm not a nurse, doctor, psychologist, a cleaner, air conditioner, fan, table. I'm not any of those things. I won't be able to function. So even sometimes when I get back home, I look at everybody, I spend time with them, 30 minutes, 1 hour, and I say, mommy needs 2 hours alone. Because either I have a meeting or I have something I'm doing. And everybody understands that. So everybody is my support system. And we can adopt that. Sometimes you may say, maybe you can't afford it. Sometimes, yeah, you might not be able to afford it physically, but maybe you can exchange some kind of support with someone else. You know, you have this service, I have this service. Can we exchange? It's the fact that we close our minds to some of these things sometimes and say, oh, if we ask for help, I can be seen as anything. That's entirely up to you. I can't control that.
Thank you so much.